market is the wild fucking west, and there isn't a grizzled sheriff and his loyal deputies around to keep you safe from all the bandits. Welcome to Weeds, everyone, the marijuana review show where we help you make sense of your dispensary. And I get a lot of questions about people asking for tips for determining if an edible is potent as advertised. So, today, guys, I'm going to share with you 5 common sense tips on how to avoid getting scammed when it comes to buying edibles. Getting scammed at the dispensary is pretty easy. It's a nascent market with little to no regulations and zero accountability. There's also lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of money to be made. So, lots of money and no accountability equals easy scores for scammers and fraudsters. And it's bad enough when dispensaries and growers mislead their customers on what strain or how potent the flower they are buying is. But at least the customers can see the product, they can verify its weight, they can smell it, or whatever other rituals they have to test their weed. Sure, they may not be getting the premium product that they are supposedly paying for, but if they're buying an amount, they will generally get that amount. Edibles, however, are much easier to scam customers with. A customer can't verify that 200 milligrams or whatever listed on the package is really 200 milligrams. They don't see the edibles getting made. They can't see it being packaged. If you want to buy a product, you've got to take the company at its word that their product is potent as advertised, or that your dispensary isn't going to sell you a shitty product. And good luck with that. So I don't want to scare anyone away from edibles, because they're fucking awesome. There are tons of great and reliable edible companies out there, and more certain to come soon. And experimenting and trying new products is half the fun. But before you go and buy something expensive you've never seen before, try utilizing these 5 tips to save yourself some money and some heartache. So, tip number 1, don't trust Weedmaps or your budtender for their recommendation. Both of these places, especially Weedmaps, is swamped with a bunch of bots and fake reviews that amp up a lot of really shady companies like LOL Edibles or Infused Creations. All those have been pumped up by their respective companies, and they mislead you. And also, speaking of people that mislead you, your budtender may very well mislead you. They may have some kind of sales contract or sales target for some specific edible, or they may have some kind of relationship with an edible manufacturer, and they may just be trying to sell you something that is not very good. I've certainly seen it happen many times. I've seen a lot of budtenders hawking LOL edibles, saying it's, the second coming. Do not be fooled by them. Do your own research ahead of time. Don't trust Weedmaps and don't trust your budtender. Know what you're looking for ahead of time. So tip number 2 is, in this case, you want to judge a book by its cover, or you want to stick to those reputable brands. What I mean by judge a book by its cover is look at the packaging. Is the packaging nice? Is the packaging fancy? Does it really show off the edible in all its glory? I'm just talking about Canico. I'm talking about Corova here. These guys have great packaging, vibrant packaging that really shows off and sells their product. And generally speaking, the fancier the packaging, the nicer the packaging, the nicer the product. Maybe because they have the money already from being a bigger brand to invest in their packaging. I'm sure it's the dog wagging its own tail here a little bit as to what comes first. But really take a look at the packaging. Do not buy anything that's just in like a plastic Ziploc bag with a sticker over it. It's usually going to be a bad product. You want to take a look and make sure it has respectable packaging, because that's usually a pretty good indicator that it's going to be a decent product. So again, judge a book by its cover and stick to those reputable brands. Stick to the big name guys out there. The big name guys are big names for a reason. Again, that's going to be your Corova, that's going to be your Kiva, that's going to be your Canico, that's going to be your Flourish. The big guys are big, again, for a reason, and they all have nice packaging. So again, look for the fancy packaging. Stay away from crappy packaging. It's usually a pretty good indicator that what's inside is just as crappy as what's on the outside. So, tip number 3 is baked goods are good and chocolate is the best. So, and I'm going to go ahead and combine this with don't be a dummy, stay away from gummies. That is mostly true. Almost all gummies are bad, with a few very notable exceptions like Flourish. Do not get Infused Creations. Do not get Edipure. You're going to see a ton of prepackaged edible or gummy edibles out there, and they are almost always terrible. With, again, a very few exceptions when it comes to gummies. If you see Flourish, go ahead and pick them up. But outside of that, stay away from the gummies. They are usually a little bit cheaper than other things, usually sometimes even substantially more so, but that's for a reason, because they are not as potent as advertised. So stick away from the gummies. Stay close to the baked goods, your cookies, and your brownies. Not even the Krispies like the Rice Krispie Treats or the Fruity Krispies. I'd stay away from those as well. I don't find those to be as potent. Your brownies and your cookies are your best bets. But for the absolute best bet, go with the chocolate bars. That is the best way I have found on all of my reviews for getting THC in. The most potent gram for gram has always been chocolate bars. Kiva, Bang, 420, Defonce, all those great ones. There's so many out there, and it's usually, if you can find a chocolate bar, it's going to be a fun ride. So again, tip number 3, baked goods are good. Chocolate is the best. Stay away from gummies. All right, so that brings us to tip number 4, and that is to look for independent lab testing results. This is a big one. If you can find on your package or somewhere actual lab testing results, that is key. And don't just look for them to say lab tested. Look for the actual results. You'll see tons of edibles out there lying about being lab tested and then this, that, and the other. But if they don't have that actual result printed on the package, it's no good. Plenty of people will lie about being lab tested, or they'll get one product lab tested and say their entire line is lab tested. If you don't see the actual results, it wasn't lab tested. Just go with that. So look for that lab tested results. Look for independent verified results printed on the package, or if not printed on the package, printed on a sheet close by, something that will let you know that is as potent as advertised. So again, if you can find those lab tested results and it comes up as potent as advertised, go ahead and pick up that product. It's going to be good to go. And then finally, our 5th tip here is the most important one, and the one that I cannot stress enough, and that is you get what you pay for when it comes to edibles. If there is a deal that seems too good to be true, if you see a 500 milligram Rice Krispie treat for $10, don't go running for your wallet to pick it up and buy out the entire stock, because they're lying to you. It's not going to be 500 milligrams. It's probably not even going to be 20 milligrams. It's probably just going to be an operation to fleece you out of your money. If something seems very expensive, there's usually a reason for that. If it seems out of line, it's probably because it is high quality stuff made with quality cannabis and quality ingredients, and it's going to stand apart. The best edibles out there do cost a little bit more, but they are absolutely worth it. And almost invariably true, if a product seems to be too good to be true in terms of price, it absolutely will be. So stay away from anything that seems to be too good to be true in terms of pricing. And make sure that, edibles are expensive, guys. So don't be surprised when you have to pay $22 for a 180 milligram chocolate bar. That's just going to be the way it is out here. But again, you get what you pay for. So if you pay that premium for that chocolate bar, for that fancier looking brand, you're almost certainly going to be rewarded in terms of potency or taste or whatever the case may be. So you absolutely get what you pay for. And guys, those are our 5 tips there, just to run through them one more time. Don't trust Weed Maps or your bud tender for your recommendation. Do judge a book by its cover. Stick to those reputable brands. Number 3, baked goods are good. Chocolate is the best. Stay away from gummies. Number 4, look for those independent lab testing results. And then number 5, you get what you pay for. When it comes to edibles, what you pay for is what you get. So if a deal seems too good to be true, it very likely is. And guys, that's going to do it. Just follow those 5 tips and you should be ready to enjoy some high quality edibles. And if you guys have any other tips or pointers that you want to share, just leave a comment below and we'll be sure to include it maybe in a future video or pin it up there at the top. We'll add it up. Or if you just disagree with me, if you think my tips here are total hogwash, please leave a comment below as well, and I'd be happy to debate you. So, and guys, be sure to check out here on YouTube and at weedsreviews.com for our whole archive. We've got over 200 reviews up. So, as I said, always do that research. Search here on Wheats to see if we've got a review up for any product you're looking at to make sure that you can tell it's a good one. So again, we've got about 200 of those up. So take a look at our archives here and on weedsreviews.com. We'd really appreciate it. And thanks, guys, for watching Wheats. I appreciate it, as always, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace.